Well, first of all, you got to tip your hat to Georgia Tech. I mean, they hit shots from everywhere. I mean, y'all realize that last three was left-handed, and she's right-handed. I mean, again, I thought kids did a great job. They matched up. We told them don't worry about giving up a two. Obviously, we had everybody on the three-point line, and they, Dunn made a couple of big-time shots, obviously. So give them credit. They shot about 50% from three. We struggled, 3 for 20. Zone, again, we just got to keep attacking and still getting River Ballwin touches against that zone. But proud of the way they hung in there. Could have been, would have been real easy just to pack it in. And I thought we hung in there. And, Sanaa Rivers in particular, she struggled for at least 3 quarters, if not longer, probably 3. And, I told her finally in the fourth quarter, she was sitting on the bench, said, we got to have you to win this game. And she went out there and made some big-time plays. Finally been preaching all week about, or since the Virginia Tech game, 2 weeks about rebounding. And, we went and got 13 offensive boards. They went and got 4 offensive rebounds. And I think, outscored them 15-4 on second chance points. So that was the ball game. So hopefully that point will be drilled in their heads that we got to do that if we're going to be a great team.
It's hard to get any offensive rebounds early on with Georgia Tech hitting just about everything. What did you say to your players as far as defense to try to get them back in it to keep Georgia Tech from hitting some of these shots?
Obviously, I don't know that we ever got back in it, but ironically, at the end of the first quarter, we're down 22-20, and I told them at this pace, their score 88. I said we're not going to win this game if they score 88. We won 86-85. So I'm going to remind them of that tomorrow. But I don't know. I mean, we had a hard time. Morgan was great off the bounce, off the pick on the ball, gave us fits. Not only, at halftime she had 7 assists and 0 turnovers, ended up with 11 assists. So, and then she also obviously scored 23 points on her own. So that's why we ended up going to the zone. I mean, we just couldn't do a good job of keeping her in front of us. So really this week I was hoping I wouldn't have to play zone. We didn't even work on it this week, but I thought they did a great job of at least getting to people and making it change the pace a little bit of the game. So, but I don't know. I mean, we'll look at the film. Hopefully we can guard better. All week long, all we heard was what a great defensive job we did against Notre Dame. And some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. And today we were that bug on defense.
Get Mimi Collins back in this game. She finished with 9 points, 5 rebounds. I mean, what kind of impact did she have, and what does it mean to have her healthy and back on this team already?
Yeah, I mean, down the stretch we went with the veterans, and I go back to the veterans when it gets crunch time, and I thought they played well together. Obviously, River Ballwin stepped up big time, had some big buckets, hit the 2 free throws after a timeout, got some big rebounds for us. So. Yeah, Mimi, again, it's good to have her presence. It was tough. It was a tough game for Mimi in that they basically had 4 guards out there the whole time, and that's a tough matchup for her trying to guard Dunn. Of course, obviously, it was a tough matchup, anybody guarding her. So 7 for 9 from 3, 11 for 15 from the field. In ACC play, she's shooting under 25% from 3. But today she hit 7 out of 9. So that's the tough part about it. You better defend and rebound because you never know who's going to have a career day on you.
What's it say about just the depth of this league for a team in the bottom half of this league to come in and challenge you the way they did today? Yeah,
well, again, they lost to Miami by 2. They lost to Syracuse by 3. As a coach, I knew how dangerous they were. Sometimes maybe the players don't hear you, but anybody in this league will beat you on a given night. Especially, like I said, they were hitting shots from everywhere, people in their face. So when you're doing that, anybody in this league can win.
Speaking of River, what does she bring to this team, outside of some of those crunch time possessions?
River Ballwin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, her presence inside on the block on both ends of the floor, I mean, you could see, I mean, she was, 7 for 9 from the field. So that tells you the dumb butt coach should get her the ball more, because she's, obviously being very effective in there. One thing too is just, she went and got 5 defensive boards, down the stretch. Those were big, coming up with those rebounds. So, and she'll take charges. Obviously, she protects the rim for us if somebody gets beat. So, again, she does a lot of things for us. Makes a big difference having her out there.
What does it say about this team to, be able to pull a game out like this and kind of win?
Yeah. I mean, again, when Dunn hit the 3 to put it in overtime with somebody all in her, you start to wonder, man, is this meant to be? And so, yeah, I'm proud of the fact that they hung in there. And, when you're shooting 3 of 20 from 3 yourself and they're throwing everything in, it'd be real easy to get discouraged and like I said, just say, well, it's not our day. But this game was too important for that. And so I'm proud of the way they hung in there. Like I said, Sanaya is a great example. She struggled at least 3 quarters, and then crunch time, she made some big plays. So that tells you the resiliency, and she's come a long way in that area.
Why do you think you were so effective in overtime? I mean, like you say, you kind of got shocked at the end of regulation, but you were real efficient for the first 4 minutes of the extra session.
Of overtime?
Yeah.
Yeah, we set pick on the ball a lot on the top of the zone and tried to let Sanaya or whoever turn the corner and put some pressure on the D, because obviously the 3s weren't going in. So we needed to either get to the rim, get the ball to River Ballwin, get her some touches. So, we tried some of that stuff earlier, but for whatever reason, it seemed to click a little bit in overtime. And that's the hard part too, trying to offensively get a transition, a running game going. When you're taking the ball out of the net and having to step out of bounds, it's kind of hard to get transition and get going, fast break. And so, that didn't help any either. But gosh, we still scored 86 points, right? So just think if we'd hit a few more 3s, we might be dangerous.
Obviously, every game is big in the ACC, but these next 2 against on the road against Duke, UNC, what do those games mean in terms of?
Yeah, humongous. I mean, I unfortunately, I don't like the way it seems. We played both of them at home first, so now we got to play both of them on the road the second time through. So I wish they would kind of balance or stagger that a little bit, but it is what it is, and both of them are great teams. I mean, I don't think they're ranked right now, which is crazy. As was mentioned, you just saw how good Georgia Tech is, and Carolina and Duke are both ahead of them in the standings. And Duke's young; they're playing real well right now. Carolina's got as much depth and talent as anybody in the league. So on the road, especially in this league, is a big challenge. So we'll have to play really well and hope maybe those 3s are going in.